How's it going, everybody? How are your Tuesdays? It's Tuesday today, right? Yeah. I hope you guys all had amazing Easters. Were you guys able to spend some time with your families? Go get a bunch of chocolate and go into a chocolate coma, or what was it that you got that you enjoyed doing this weekend? Let us know. Let us know who's here, guys. Comment, like below. We want to hear from all you guys. We'll answer any questions that you guys have on this live stream today. The topic that we're going to be going into detail on is basically what are the keys for you to start and run a successful online business. Like, what is it that you should prepare yourself for or be prepared to implement as you're going in there so you can be successful? Because in the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You don't want to launch a business that's not going to be successful, right?
Exactly. I think for me, one of the most important questions to ask yourselves when you are thinking about starting an online business is why? Why do you want to actually start this business? I can speak for myself. So the reason I wanted to start was to gain my time freedom back. I was working like a crazy job. So, I was missing out on absolutely everything in my life. So my why was time freedom. I wanted to move back home, to spend time with my family and my friends. And now it's become really important to me to be able to teach people how to gain their time freedom back. Now, whether that's them wanting to spend time with family, or maybe they work, in a different state or country or whatever, and they just want to go back home, whatever reason it is, you need to know why. What was your why, Mark?
I mean, it's funny how you just said you transitioned, right? It's crazy to see how you start with one idea and then it just progressed. Maybe you achieved that ideal that you wanted, and now you need a new why because that one isn't as prevalent to you anymore. And it's crazy how when you find success or as your business goes through, your whys change, your reasons all change, all that type of stuff, and it's crazy. So for me, I really hated my job. I that was my selfish. I had two reasons. I had my selfish reasons. So I hated my job. I was treated like garbage, wasn't appreciated. And I really didn't like the hours that I was working all the time and having somebody control my life. And that's how I always felt like it was Big Brother that was watching me. And even near the end of my tenure with the business, they put in cameras, even in my office, I was a manager. And they even put cameras on. So it's I was always on edge at all times. And every time the phone rang, say if I was taking a 2-minute deserve and break, I was oh man, they're fucking watching me, caught me again, sitting there. That's probably what they think. I just sit here all day. And I was just tired of having never being at ease with life and never feeling good about myself, because where I was spending the majority of my days was at work and I wasn't feeling good about it. And that sucks. I really wanted to start feeling better about my life in general. So that was my selfish reasons, because I think that you need to have a selfish reasons. If everything's selfless, then you're not going to push yourself as hard, right? Because you need to get something yourself with everything. And so that was my selfish. And then the selfless one was I just wanted to provide a better life for my family and actually be there for all those special moments. And I'm sure every parent that's watching this probably felt the exact same way while doing anything, or in your current situation right now. You just if you ever missed your kid's first steps, first words, any of those type of things, dance recital, baseball game, whatever it is, you probably have some type of resentment against yourself and what you're doing that's causing you not to be able to be there. Because in the end of the day, we have kids because we love them and want to spend time with them, and that's the reason why we have families, right? So I just my unselfish reason is I just wanted to be there for my family. I have an amazing mother. I have no problem saying it. Definitely mama's boy right here. And my mom was there for all my events growing up. She missed one sports event my whole life, which I would say is crazy, for any parent to be able to do. And I wanted to be that parent for my kids. So because I had such a great example, growing up, I was just that's the kind of experience that I want my kids to have from their parents. So those are my two big reasons on why, I really I wanted the freedom. I wanted to find something else that I wouldn't have to be in my job, and those were my big reasons. And guys, we want to hear from you in the chat. If you let me hear the reasons what's ailing you in your life right now, why you'd either want to get out of your situation that you're in, or the reason why you started pushing yourself to like get to bigger and better things. Like, we want to hear from you guys. So like in the chat, and I know you guys have only heard a piece of what we're going to talk about so far. But if you think that somebody else can find some value from what we're going to be talking about right now, please share this. Share this to anybody. And we want to hear all your guys' thoughts in the chat. We'd love to interact with all you guys. I'm so grateful for anybody that's joining us on this little video right now. So awesome stuff there. So the next kind of thing that, like, after you've figured out why you're going to be doing something, is what problem are you going to want to solve? Like, what resonates to you that, like, you're like, oh, I have passion towards this, or I know that there's a need out there that you can really push yourself to, right? So we all have different passions in life. We all have different things that we're experiencing, right? Like, people in different work fields, obviously you're going to get different ideas that you're going to be like, there's a problem right there. I want to solve that. So you need to find out why somebody has this issue and how you can solve that. And one thing for me was, like, I knew that a lot of people were in the exact same situation as me. They just didn't want to live these ordinary lives, didn't want to, not to have success and not to have time freedom or the freedoms in life. And they really just wanted more out of life, and probably were a little bit lost in life to be able to get there, and no real lifeline to help you. And that's what it was for me. I saw that, I received that, so I knew that there was an issue there that needed to be solved, and that's why I started dedicating my life to becoming a business consultant, to helping other people get to those heights, and that's kind of where I was at, and that's kind of usually the next stage is, like, what kind of industry, what niche do you want to go into, and that you have passion and that there's a problem to be solved there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. My thing was pretty much the same as yours. I just thought there has to be more to life than working these crazy hours, and most of the time being unhappy at your current job. So for me as well, like I said, it was all about freedom. So having the ability to find something that could create this freedom and teach somebody else how to gain their freedom back, to me that was huge. And so yes, it's pretty much what you said, definitely. So, like, another thing that people ask is, what funds do I absolutely need to get started? There is a huge misconception in the online world. People think that just because it's an online business, it's going to cost you no money. That's a lie. If you want to start a business, and if you're going to be serious about this business, and if you want to succeed in this business, you need to spend a little bit of money. Now, I'm not talking like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. I'm talking even something small like $200, $300 just to get started. But you need something to start your business, because it's stuff like a website, it's email marketing, it's sales funnels. This stuff costs money. And it takes skill as well, but that's a different story, because you can actually get people to do that stuff for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, you do need a little bit of financial investment. But like, for me, I was so serious about actually changing my life that spending $300 to get started and build my business, it was worth it. It was worth every cent, because it was a do or die kind of situation for me. I know I didn't want to live my life the way I was living it. So 300, I don't even think it was, I think I spent like $100 when I got started. It was something so silly, like such a minimal investment. But if you only know like what that $100 got me 2 years down the line, it's incredible. I mean, I made that $200 back, I think, within like 2 weeks. So my investment was already paid for. So yeah, so just, if you believe in yourself and you trust yourself, you shouldn't have any problems investing in yourself and your business. What do you think?
I totally agree with you. It's funny, like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy, and if you've ever gone onto YouTube, I'm sure you've seen his face, but his name's Russell Brunson. This guy's one of the most successful people online, and he's a genius in my opinion. Anyways, I love the quote that he says all the time. It's like, any smart, good entrepreneur needs to figure out that, you know, you're going to sometimes have to pull out your money and spend a little bit of money. And that's the only way that you're going to be successful. If you don't pull out your wallet and spend a little bit of money, then you're never going to be successful. All right. And I think that to be able to do that, you have to have belief in yourself. And that's one thing I struggled with, like starting, like the belief in myself that, you know, spending money is going to help benefit me. And the thing is, money is going to come in next week, and you can always make more of it. There's so much money out there that they print more every single fucking day. It's just what they do. So I mean, like, so don't get so emotional over money. I think that's a big issue, right? I know you're probably sitting there being like, yeah, it's easy for you to say, Mark, you know, you live comfortably, all that type of stuff, right? And that's great. Even beforehand, like me and my wife would talk about this type of stuff, and she was very emotional about money, and I wasn't. And because we had different mindsets about that, it caused some conflict. But in the end of the day, like, what is money really serving you in your life right now? Like, how is it? Like, if it's just going to sit there in your bank account, how does that serve you? But if you could trade that money, like $1 for $2, now that's serving you, doing something, right? So instead of letting your money just erode inside there and just, you know, spend on, you know, energy drinks, coffees, you know, chocolate bars, McDonald's or whatever, right? You know, stop fruitlessly spending it and start spending it where you can, you know, start multiplying it for yourself. That just makes sense, right? Doesn't it, Louise?
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, when you calculate how much money you waste even in a week, you know, you go and buy a Starbucks coffee, that's like $5. You go and buy, you know, lunch, that's another, say, $10. You go and buy, you know, you stop to buy dinner, you stop at a drive-through if you're feeling unhealthy and want to indulge. And that's like what, like another $15 or whatever, you know, and you calculate how much you spend per week, and I can guarantee you're probably spending more than you would need to actually invest to start your business. And when people say, oh, I don't have the money, it blows my mind. It baffles me, because I'm like, if you stop just for 1 week doing all of this stuff, I can guarantee you will have the money. It's just a matter of priorities, really and truly, and how committed you are. So many people are like, oh yeah, I want to start. I definitely want to start. I want this. But their actions don't mimic their words. So, you know, you have to decide what you really want.
I want to start, but only if it's comfortable for me. It has to work for me. If I want to start, but it has to only work for me. And it's just like, no relationship works that way. If you went to your significant other and you're like, I want this relationship to work, but only on my own terms, what do you think they're going to say?
Screw you, Mark.
Yeah, like, F off. My wife would probably just laugh at me, think I was joking, and walk the other direction. But that's it. Like, your relationship is with a business, with a commitment to, like, you know, whatever that why was, that first topic that we talked about. So, I mean, if you're not committed to that, then, I mean, you probably shouldn't have got to the third step anyways, right? So if your why wasn't strong enough, you shouldn't have got there. I mean, there's usually two variables that you do have to, like, invest in, and that's money, and then there's time as well. And time is a big key. And Louisa and me actually were just talking about this, I think yesterday, or maybe it was over the weekend. We talk way too much. What she was saying is, like, people always telling me they're so busy. Oh, I'm so busy. And she was just like, you know what? When I first started this, like, I used to work on a yacht, and I was working 15 hours a day. I still managed to find time to do what I needed to do. When I started, I had 2 kids, a wife. I was managing a business, working 50 hours a week. And my kids, so we would prevent them from going to childcare. Me and my wife split our days up. So it's like I was either working or with my kids. So the only time I had was when they were sleeping. So, I mean, obviously after working like a 10-hour day, I was fatigued, right? So I had to push through that, maybe drink a coffee a little bit late at night, sacrifice a little bit of sleep. But, you know, that's what got me to where I am today, because I was willing to invest that, you know, 1 to 3 hours a day to, you know, push myself to where I needed to be. Right? Now, if you think about that, like 1 to 3 hours a day, not a whole lot of time. But what most people would do, and like people that I used to work with, they'd be like, oh man, I had such a busy night. And these would be single people. So no kids, right? But none of that equation in there. And they'd be like, I was so busy last night, I wasn't able to do anything. I was like, oh, what'd you do? Oh, I went and smoked pot and played video games. Oh, fuck, man, you were so busy. Like, what am I doing even talking to you right now? Like those are priorities right now, smoking pot and playing video games, you know? That's great. I mean, I do live in British Columbia where, that may be a little bit more of a prevalent thing than most other places in the world. But, people will watch Netflix, play video games, go out to the bar, all that other things, and they'll say that they're busy when they really aren't. They're just kidding themselves, right?
Yeah, it's just excuses. Like we love as human beings, it's in our nature to love to make excuses for anything. It's go take the trash out. Oh, I'll do it later. I'm just doing something now. And you're just playing like Candy Crush on your phone or something like that. It's always an excuse. Like instead of just saying, I'm going to do it now. Procrastination is like your worst enemy. If you want to do something, just do it. Everything that you are going to do, like Netflix, movie, video games, it's all going to be there once you build your business. And that's it. Excuses. Like I said, not only did I work 15 hours every single day for 8 months straight with 0 time off, I also lived on board. So I lived on board like a 50-meter yacht with another like 11 to 12 people. So I never had time to myself, and still I built my business, which is super profitable now. But I sacrificed, oh my God, I would sleep for maybe 2.5, 3 hours maximum every single night. I was exhausted, but I did it because I saw the benefits that it was going to allow me in the future, which it did, because like 4 or 5 months later, I quit my job. So,
yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Just want to give a few people a shout out. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Lynn. How's it going, guys? Hope you guys are all having an awesome day. If you guys are getting any value, just let us know. Please, interact. Whatever thoughts you guys have on any of the topics that we're also talking about, just feel free to, dive in there. So the next kind of thing that would be in transition after you thought about like what you're going to invest is who else is doing this, right? And are they finding success in this field? Because there's one thing, and I talk about this on our masterclass all the time, is you don't want to become the pioneer. Pioneer syndrome, it sucks, okay? You get a bunch of arrows in your back, no one wins, and you end up falling on your face, all right? You don't want to do that. You want to find out what other people are doing that are finding success, and if their success is seen in the field. Because, like, I was talking to one of my other friends that's, like, in sales, and we're talking about, different ideas that you have. And sometimes you just, like, have these great ideas. You're like, this is going to work flawlessly. This is like for me, because I work in advertisement, like this is gonna be the best ad ever. Like I crushed this ad copy, crushed this picture, all this type of stuff. You send it out there and flops, right? So what you want to do is just with all ideas is you want to find out what other people are doing. What are they doing to make them successful? Because you can see like tons of businesses out there and they're making millions of dollars a month. Okay, cool. If they're making millions of dollars a month, like what kind of funnels do they have? What kind of traits do they have? What ideas are they doing to their business? Like, because say you're selling supplements or say you're selling, shoes, all right? So what are these other companies doing to sell these products that are making them successful? Because you want to make sure that you're going into a field that, is already being successful, right? And competition isn't always bad. And people always see like, oh, there's competition. I can't do that. I want to go where there's no competition. Well, guess what? We live in the internet era. There's competition everywhere now. You're not running away from it, right?
Yeah, every single industry is super oversaturated, but that's fine because this goes on to my other kind of question is what's your special sauce? What makes you different? So what? There's like 1 million people doing exactly what you want to do. Big deal. What you have to focus on isn't them. What you have to focus on is what's going to make you different. What makes you special? What's going to make you stand out? And a lot of the time people just think it takes no effort. It just comes easy. Money's just going to come to me because now I have a website or something. So I'm going to start seeing money. No, you need to stand out. You need to take what they're doing and you need to maybe make it a little bit better, give it your own, twist and focus on that, And I think a lot of people lack in that. A lot of people, when they don't see success, it's because they haven't figured out who they are in their business yet. So the business model works, but they haven't figured out who they are within that business model. And that could be a make or break situation, in my opinion anyway. um, so it's something that you should really think about. It's not something that you have to overanalyze, but it's something that you should ask yourself, who am I going to be within my business, and what do I want to portray in my business?
For sure. I think that your identity is huge, right? Like, why will people resonate with you compared to Jim Bob's special sauce or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, what separates you, right? Like, you always, and if you can hone in on that, then I think that's the recipe for success, right? And you find that pain point, you can hone in on your special sauce. You have that clarity of knowing what you're trying to deliver out there. Wow, like you got nothing will stop you at that point in time, other than procrastination. But yeah, I'll just touch on a few more people's comments here. Ramiro, you're totally correct, man. No phone call should ever prevent you from having success, bro. But it's crazy to hear how common that is. Like a phone call to a bank to get them to release some funds, or just having to go and set up a PayPal account or something like that. Like those things prevent people from having success so much. And it's just another excuse, right? Like it's just giving yourself the excuse because you're not confident enough to invest into you. And no one ever is going to invest into you unless you're willing to invest into you. And we come across that all the time. It's like, oh, I want somebody to invest into me. Why would they invest into you? Like, what have you done? Like, what makes you a great business model for you to be invested in? And people just, they just think that they should just get it because they have, an idea. And there's a million ideas that happen every single day. But ideas don't mean anything unless you have that drive and determination to like squash it, right? I'll just let you answer this one, but I'll just read it out to you, Louisa. But Lynn said, I just want to add that being aware of different ways you can make excuses is mind-blowing. Sometimes it's an eye-opening moment to hear what you have accepted as truth that are really lies. You guys wrong me up that 3 weeks ago. There was a little bit of a spelling error there, but what do you think of that, Louise?
I didn't understand the last part of it.
I think it was like woke me up. I think that's probably
okay. Oh my goodness, if you only hear the kind of excuses that I've heard, like some things are so drastic that you even know that they're lying to you. And I just feel like the only person that you're harming in that situation is yourself. And that's it. When you make an excuse, the person that you're making the excuse to isn't getting harmed, isn't whatever. We had I don't know, a meeting scheduled, you didn't show up, whatever. I'm gonna be the same. Like I'm not losing anything. The only person that you're harming is yourself, because you are limiting yourself to what and you're not opening up your mind to new opportunities. So you need to sometimes just stop yourself and just say, wait, why am I not doing that? I said I was going to do it. Why don't I turn, Netflix off and actually watch this inspirational video that might actually like open up my eyes to something amazing? Today I went for a run. Well, I didn't go for a run. I was running on my treadmill. And normally what I would do is listen to music. And today I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch a documentary as I run. And I was just like amazed at what I learned just by watching this, when all I really wanted to do was listen to my 90s boy band music, because I don't know, for some reason that music just makes me keep on running and running, and I'm singing to like these, soppy songs and all this, like, I don't know, I'm from Europe, so for me back in the 90s it was Take That and Boyzone. I don't know where you guys are from, but those were huge bands. So I'm just listening to this music and it just makes me smile and laugh because it just brings back so many memories. But anyway, that's my comfort zone. So I said, I'll put on a documentary. I don't know if I'm going to be able to run to this, but I was amazed, and I just kept running and running and running. And then I called Mark. I'm like, oh my God, I just ran this. And he's just, wow. Anyway, so yeah, so it's also getting out of your comfort zone is what I'm talking about. You know, sometimes you don't want to do something for the fear of not knowing what you're getting yourself into. When if you actually do it, you'll be surprised at how amazing it could be.
No, I totally agree, and that was the deciding factor for me, is like getting out of my comfort zone. And I think the last thing that you kind of got to focus on, and I'm not sorry, guys. My son's just playing with his kitchen. Anyways, one thing that you should really focus on is like what strengths do you have currently that are going to help serve you to be successful, right? So like what you should always be doing is developing yourself, finding new strengths and all that type of stuff. Like Strength Finders isn't everything, but it really helps in the beginning to know what you're strong at and know it's going to really help you like push yourself going forward. So like on my first ever coaching calls with people, 2 questions I always ask everybody, like what is their strength? What is their weakness? And people struggle with that. Like they don't know what their strength is. They don't know what their weaknesses are. They just ignore those type of things. And knowing what you're going to be weak at is huge, because then you know what to avoid and what you should try to, push yourself away from. And a lot of people that I hear is, and this will be astounding to you guys, is what we figure out is one of their weaknesses is being a perfectionist. I know you're probably thinking, being a perfectionist, how can that be a weakness, right? You're going to do everything to the best of your ability. Well, it's because the reason is to be perfect at something, it's hard. That's not an easy thing to do, and it takes a while. And if you ever look at anything, while you're trying to get perfect, say you're trying to cook the perfect cake. So say your first attempt at a cake, you have people coming over that night, and you try to make this perfect cake, and you don't make it perfect the first time around. Are you going to throw that cake and be like, fuck it, no one gets dessert today? Nope, that wasn't a perfect cake. Or you're going to serve it to them anyways, right? Most likely you're going to serve it to people because you don't want to disappoint them. But in real life, people have a different concept for that. So they want to prepare themselves so perfectly to start up this business. Everything has to work out. There has to be a right time. Everything has to align, and then I'll start this business. You know what I mean? So why don't you take the analogy with a cake? You've already made it. Just push it forward. People are still going to enjoy it. Who cares if there's a crack in the middle of the cheesecake? Whatever. It's still going to taste good. People are still going to be like, I'm glad you served me this. If you threw it in the garbage, people would look at you crazy. So why don't you take that, but put that into your real life, right?
Well, yeah, 100%, and it goes with this, and people are like, oh, it's not the right time for me to start. I hate when people tell me that. It's just not the right time for me right now. And I'm like, when is the right time? If you're going to be waiting for the right time to start, you are never going to start, because there's never the right time, just like there's never the right time to have a child. You can never prepare yourself to have a baby because you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. It's the same thing with a business. There's never going to be the right time. You just have to do it. You just have to jump in with both feet forward and just like, I'm all in. I think we've been going on for a while now, Mark. How long have we been on this live for?
I don't know. It's been some time though. I agree. We should probably shut her down. So we just want to give you guys some value here, and I hope you guys have all seen that. If you guys have, as I said at the very beginning, make sure you share this thing. If you see anybody that can have value from this, share it, like it, comment. We will get back to you guys. If you guys are watching this on replay, make sure you put replay down. We appreciate every single one of you guys for joining us. And I hope that we were able to really give you some perspective on how you can be successful.
Yeah, for sure. And if there's anything that you guys want to hear us talk about on our next live call, just comment below and let us know, because we'd like to we'd like people to give us ideas as well, because it's always good to know what you guys want to hear about. So I hope you got lots of value. Comment replay if you're watching the replay. Add us on Facebook if you haven't already, and have a chat with us. And I hope you have a good day.
Take care, guys.
Bye.